For years, the proposed high-speed rail project has been attacked by Republicans. But now, Governor Jerry Brown's $68 billion project to link Northern and Central California is catching flack from a key Democrat. NBC Bay Area's political analyst Larry Gershon joins us with the latest wrinkle in the controversial program.
Yeah.
Or is there anything more controversial going on right now in California than this high-speed rail?
That one and maybe the peripheral tunnel.
That was my guess. That was my guess.
Those two, they've got everybody talking. This is what's weird. It's one thing for the critics to say this is a bad thing. The Republicans line up, not a good thing. It's another thing when the opposition comes from within, from an ally, a close ally you're counting on. So this time it's not just a disgruntled Republican ranting about the cost and whatnot, but it's Kevin Deleon, and Kevin Deleon's a big hitter. He's the incoming state Senate President pro tem, who as such is going to be the most powerful person in that body. And in his leadership position, Deleon can cause a lot of problems for Brown, particularly when it comes to funding this massive $68 billion project.
Now, for critics, there's a lot not to like about the rail project. They feel the original ballot measure was disingenuous. They feel there are lots of issues it's not going to live up to promise. What is his concern in particular, or are they all of them?
No. What Deleon is saying, look, he doesn't like the portion of where the project is going to start, going to extend 130 miles. We've heard this story from an area south of Madera to Bakersfield. And he claims that this segment's going to basically go from nowhere to nowhere. And in the process, it's going to serve no one. Instead, he says the best way to use the early funds to complete electrification of Union Station, Los Angeles, as well as the line that will ultimately head north along the high-speed rail corridor. By the way, in the Politics Makes Strange Bedfellows department that we know so well in California, Deleon has some key allies, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, for one, who opposes the rail system because of high cost, we've heard that, and House of Representatives Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, the Republican Majority Leader now, who opposes any more federal spending for the project for anything.
With apologies to our friends in Bakersfield and Madera, it is nowhere to nowhere.
Nowhere to nowhere.
Why are they starting there?
Okay, look, there are two answers here. The official answer is that by building the first leg in the Central Valley, well, a lot of track can be constructed for very little money. There's nobody in the way, so to speak, okay? And so a lot of the kinks, by the way, can get ironed out there where nobody can get hurt before moving south toward Los Angeles and north toward the Bay Area. That's the official answer, okay? Now there's the backside, okay, the backstory, the unofficial answer. The unofficial answers vary. Some skeptics say that the Central Valley start is to pay back Congressman Jim Costa of Madera for his key vote on the Affordable Care Act,
Wow.
You get something back, yeah. Others say that the Central Valley start is a strategic way, really, to assure that the project eventually will end in both Northern and Southern California. You build 130 miles of track, you got to put it somewhere, you extend it somewhere, so that's the deal there.
And then the argument as well is if we, that's the easiest place to start. Yeah. And if we just get some rail down, it's harder to turn back.
That's
Once the rail's in the ground and you start spending the money, you say, can't turn back now.
Yep.
We started building it.
Yep.
So
130 miles of something, we got to finish it up. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God. What do you think? Do you think this is enough to, pardon the pun, derail it?
Yeah. It's hard to tell. These things, they have their own momentum one way than the other way. Governor Brown, one thing we know about Jerry Brown, when he sets his mind to something, he is firm, and he has doubled down on this project again and again. He's not afraid. He's not walking away from it. He sees this, by the way, not only as the best way to move people in the years ahead, but really a crucial way to protect the environment and reduce pollution. But
and a legacy. And a legacy issue for him. He said, great minds think big, and we push through all the doubters. I mean, he sees this as one of his lasting legacies.
Right, and for Pat Brown, his father, it was the Central Valley Project, the water project, and boy, without that, where would we be? Yeah. For Jerry Brown, it's this one. And, he and his allies, though, are going to be challenged. They're going to be challenged a lot to keep the project wheels rolling, if we can go ahead with that pun, to see some progress. And the only way that people are going to feel good about this in the end, especially supporters, is if they see something done. And that start has been delayed again and again and again by court suits, by monetary concerns. So we're going to have to see. We'll know a lot more in the months to come.
Just one last question.
Yeah.
If this fails, if the high-speed rail goes away, does it go away from opposition in California or opposition in Washington?
You know, like so many things, Garvin, it's usually a synergy of sorts. The opposition collapses from both sides, and before you know it, you're stuck in the middle, nowhere to breathe. It could be a little of both. But more interesting to me is what's going to happen with the rest of that $10 billion bond? They've spent some of it up here and down there, but what's going to happen to the rest of it? A refund?
Yeah. Don't you wish you could? It's one of the things you wish you could fast forward 20 years, and either you're riding in this beautiful train or you're going to some random bit of history like 10 miles of track in the middle of the desert going, hey, there's an interesting story behind that, one way or the other. Larry, thank you. As always, great. We still got much more for you on Today in Debate. Coming up, a popular